Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV Current. First are the major headlines. Tinubu renames airport after Buhari, Usman Danfodio, Awolowo, others. VP Shetima decorates Adeni as acting custom chief. FG suspend work on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. No plans to pardon Adedoyin, subvert death sentence, Governor Adeleke. NNPC marketers, others involved in fuel subsidy scam, says Isa Yuguda. And on sports, your next move may make or mar your career. Now the news in detail. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led federal government has renamed some federal airports after several notable Nigerians. This is according to a memo by Federal Ministry of Aviation dated June 1, 2023 and signed by Mrs. Joke Olatunji for the Director of Airport Operations. The statement made available on Monday noted that the President renamed the airport as part of reforms of the aviation sector. The Maiduguri Airport was renamed after the immediate past President Muhammadu Buhari and the Port Harcourt Airport after the late nationalist Obafemi Awolowo, while the Nasarawa Airport immortalized the late founder of Sokoto Caliphate Usman Danfodio. Also, the Benin Airport was renamed after the late Oba of Benin, Oba Akezua II. Ebonyi Airport after the late Senate President Chuba Okadibo, and the Ibadan Airport after the late Premier of the Old Western Region, Ladoke Akintola. Moving on to the next story. Vice President Kashim Shettima on Monday decorated Adewale Bashir Adeniyi, the Acting Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Information report that Adeniyi's appointment as the Acting Controller General of Customs was announced by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on June 19, 2023, alongside other newly appointed heads of security services. Vice President Shettima recently performed a similar decoration ceremony at the Presidential Villa, where he bestowed the new rank upon Kayode Egbetokun, the Acting Inspector General of Police. Recall that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is expected back in the country this week after having traveled to attend a summit in Paris, France. Moving on to the next story. The federal government has suspended ongoing construction works at the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. It said the suspension will take effect from Tuesday till Sunday. Construction works, it said, will resume next Monday. A statement on Monday by Federal Controller of Works Lagos, Engineer Mrs. O.I. Kesha, on Monday reads, due to the recent heavy traffic flow being experienced on the Lagos-Shagamu route in the last couple of days, the inclement weather conditions, the forthcoming Eid al-Kabir, and the advice of the traffic management team deployed to manage traffic-related issues on the project, construction activities on this ever-busy and very important highway will be suspended from Tuesday 27th of June to Sunday 2nd July 2023. This is to allow travelers easy passage during the Eid all day, and it minimizes discomfort during this very important period. Travelers are advised to cooperate with traffic management team deployed on the highway to manage traffic during this period. From that story, we go to the next one coming from Osun State. The Osun State government has stated that it is unaware of any plans to subvert the death sentence on Dr. Ramon Adedoyin. Describing the rumor making the rounds on social media as false, the state government, through a statement by the governor's spokesperson Olawale Rashid on Monday in Osogbo, also affirmed that it has no plan to pardon Adedoyin. Rashid also revealed that Governor Ademola Adeleke is not a friend or partner of the owner of Oduduwa University, and maintained that he did not interfere or intervene in the arraignment, hearing, and sentencing of the accused. Adedoyin, who was sentenced to death for murder of Timothy Adegoke, is the proprietor of Oduduwa University in Ikpotumodu, Osun State. According to the statement, reacting to the growing rumor possible state pardon for businessman Governor Adeleke was quoted as noting that his administration has never and will never intervene in the judicial process, labeling those behind the fake news as public enemies. He described the rumor as fake news and those behind it as evil-minded political operatives desperate to blackmail the governor. Governor Adeleke has not and will never contemplate exercising the prerogative of mercy or whatever the report calls it on a matter under adjudication which has generated deep interest among local and global communities. Moving on to the fuel subsidy. Former governor of Bauchi State, Isa Yuguda, on Monday said that up till the time of its removal, the fuel subsidy has mostly been a scam run by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company (NNPC) in conjunction with marketers and other stakeholders in the oil sectors. Yuguda, who also was former Minister of State for Transport, disclosed this when he appeared as a guest on a television station. According to him, he was privileged to serve as the chairman of a subcommittee between 2008 and 2009 under the economic meltdown period, and he chaired the committee on subsidy where everything about the scam from the initiative was discovered. I am sad to let Nigerians know that what I saw, we came across situations where subsidy was claimed on pipelines that never existed, Yuguda maintained. The former minister further explained that they, NNPC and marketers, just claim that they have pumped X amount of either finished product or crude. Those that claim to pump the products and those that are in the subsidy scam, they just fill papers, invoices, and they claim subsidy on it, Yuguda explained. When asked again if it was indeed the NNPC that was making these claims, Yuguda replied in the affirmative. Who else is doing it? He rhetorically asked. He further stated that the removal of fuel subsidy has long been discussed and is long overdue. However, previous government did not have the political will to implement the removal of fuel subsidy. Below as the statement said by the former Bauchi State Governor.
I was privileged to serve as the chairman of the subcommittee 2008 and 2009 under the economic meltdown. I was one of the members, 3 of us governors and some other members with Mr. President as chairman. So I chaired the committee on subsidy and everything about the subsidy regime, and then the scam in the subsidy regime was discovered by my committee. And of course, since then, recommendations were made, which unfortunately were never implemented, and it's very sad. I'm sad to let Nigerians know that from what I saw, we came across situations where subsidy was claimed on pipelines that never existed. You just claim that they have pumped X amount of, either finished products or crude, maybe from Kaduna, from Warri to Kaduna.
By who? By NNPC? Making this claim?
Of course, who else is doing it?
Oh dear.
Those that pump and those that are in the subsidy scam, they just fill papers, invoices, and they claim subsidy on it. In fact, there was an instance of a pipeline that was supposed to exist between Lagos and Warri. And tons of monies were collected on subsidy on a pipeline that never existed. This is Nigeria for you.
But I thought they were telling us that it is marketers and some other persons who are perpetrating the fraud. So NNPC is involved?
They are all involved in these things, all of them. Oh. All of them. And I must sadly also report that, you see, Nigeria subsidy, if it's that part of it that is actually goes for the subsidy, we go on subsidizing sub-Saharan Africa and Central Africa, because the bulk of these products are smuggled out of this country. Then who is subsidizing who?
Wait, that report that you spoke about NNPC, all of them being involved, was it submitted to the government?
Of course it was.
Moving on to the next story from Kano State. Hundreds of protesters on Monday hit Kano streets to express their displeasure with the ongoing demolition exercise of the state government. Information report that the government has pulled down some structures while several others have been marked for demolition. The government premised its actions on the ground that the land upon which the affected structures were erected were illegally allocated by the immediate past government. The structures already demolished include the multi-billion naira project at the old Daula Hotel, shopping plaza at the Polo Ground and at the Eid Ground, while residential and commercial buildings have been marked for demolition at Salanta area and BUK Road. While the government has insisted there is no going back in its resolve to restore the Kano Urban Development Master Plan, which includes removing structures erected on public spaces, the protesters that hit the streets early Monday morning mandated and demanded that the government rescind or resign its decisions. With protesters like Governor Yusuf, your action is sending away investors. Don't bring insecurity to our state, Mr. Governor, and let the law take its course, among others. The protesters, after converging at the demolished Daula Hotel, proceeded to the police headquarters to register their grievances. Speaking on behalf of the protesters, Comrade Zaharidin Sani Baba of the Coalition for Good Governance and Change Initiative said, if the incumbent governor has anything against his predecessor, please call him to answer questions instead of punishing innocent Nigerians and destroying their investment in the states. From Kano State story, we go to the next one, from Castina. The head of the Vigilante group in Damusa LGA, Katsina State, Malam Nabaje, has been killed and his house set ablaze by terrorists late Sunday night. The hoodlums in the operation targeted at the Vigilante leader house also shot 2 persons and reportedly raped 3 women during the attack. One of the locals and a fellow vigilante from Damusa who said some of the things and necessary information on the incident said the attack was more of information directly to the vigilante head in the community. Also, moving on to the next story, which concerned the hoodlums attack. They blocked all routes to avoid him escaping. After a painstaking search, they found him under a tree where he engaged him in a gun duel until he ran out of ammunition and was rounded up when he sought refuge in the compound where he was butchered. Spokesman of the Castina Police Command, ASP Abubakar Sidi, confirmed that the report, though he said the report got to the police due to the downpour and poor network experience on the day of the attack. He, however, said efforts were ongoing with a view to arresting the hoodlums. According to ASP Sidi, the State Police Commissioner has since condoled with the family of the deceased. From that story from Castina, we go to the next story from a skit maker. A family court sitting at Iyagoku, Ibadan, Oyo State on Monday ordered the remand of a skit maker, Maruf Abdullah, fondly called Trinity Guy, in Agodi Correctional Facility over alleged sexual exploitation of a 10-year-old girl until Tuesday, July 11, when the case would come up for mention. It also arraigned and remanded Isiaka Ahmed, 40, and his wife, Rofia, 29, who are parents of the victim, on 2 count charges of conspiracy and sexual abuse and exploitation alongside the skit maker. The magistrates, P.O. Ade Tuibi, did not take the defendant plea for want of jurisdiction, saying the case file had been filed and duplicated at the State Ministry of Justice, Ibadan, Oyo State. From that story of Trinity Guy as a skit maker in Nigeria, based in Ibadan, Oyo State, we go to the foreign story. Ukrainian forces have recaptured another formerly Russian-held settlement on the southern front between the 2 armies, the military said on Monday. Defense forces returned Rivnopil under our control. Let's push on, Deputy Defense Minister Ghana Melia posted on Instagram and Telegram, referring to a rural community in Donetsk region. A separate video posted on Facebook shows soldiers of Ukraine's 34th Separate Mechanized Brigade posting with their normal and national flag in front of a routine coverage. One of the soldiers said the Rrør had been liberated on Sunday when Russian forces fled. We move forward, he added. This month, Ukraine launched a counter-offensive against the Russian troops, occupying around a fifth of its territory in the south and east of the country. President Volodymyr Zelensky has admitted that the advance has not gone as fast as had been hoped, despite Ukraine starting to deploy more Western supply weapons and tanks against the Russians. But there has been a breakthrough in the Mokry-Yaly River Valley, south of Valika, Novosilka in the Donetsk, and the recapture of Rrør will link up territory seized in these advanced movements. And to end the world news this hour is a sports story. Former Nigerian forward Jonathan Akpoboriye has won Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen to carefully analyze his next move before accepting any offers from interested clubs in Europe. The Napoli forward has garnered media attention following his impressive performance that helped his club to secure the Scudetto this season. Again, Osimhen's 2 goals also helped the Super Eagles secure qualification to the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations after Nigeria defeated Sierra Leone 3-2 in Monrovia, Liberia. These achievements have attracted the attention of European clubs and giants like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester United, Chelsea, Atletico Madrid to the battling for his signature. However, in the chat, the former Wolfsburg star stated that the Nigerian international's big decision may either make or mar his football career. I have followed the progress of Osimhen closely for both club and country, and I think he has done pretty well for himself during the 2022-2023 season. Yes, big clubs are already demanding for his signature, but I will advise him to carefully analyze his next move before making the decision. Whatever decision he makes will make or mar his progress as a player during his career. With our sports story, we end today's world news from BGI TV Current. Before we go, some major headlines. Tinubu renames airports after Buhari, Usman Danfodio, Awolowo orders. VP Shetima decorates Adeniyi as acting custom chief. FG suspend works on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. No plans to pardon Adedoyin. Subvert death sentence, Governor Adeleke of Osun State speaks out. And on sports, your next move may make or mar your career. Akpoboriye speaks to Victor Osimhen. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option All to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bankede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of your coverage of events and functions, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Rrør Lawan. Good evening.